So I didn't do yoga for, surprise, surprise, since New Year. So it was nice to practice a little bit before the class today, and I realized how much better I felt afterwards. Yeah, you know what New Year's like. It can sometimes be quite festive. Even as a yoga teacher, I certainly can break the rules. But that's behind the scenes. This will not happen on camera. Okay, so let's begin with some breath work. And I'm going to begin with Kapalabhati breath. It's a detoxification breath. I know that's a big statement to make, but it will anyway just induce some blood flow and for your heart rate to go up and create some heat in the body before we begin. So let's take a breath in and out through the mouth. So just doing a few of those before you begin. Kind of just a way of getting that tension out of the body. You know, when you're having a bad moment, this really helps, right? You just take a nice deep inhale. Exhale it out of the mouth. As if you were just expelling out that stagnation. And again, taking a breath in. And exhale out of the mouth. Okay, we're going to do 2 sets of Kapalabhati breath, so heating breath. You breathe in halfway, you expel out of the abdomen, and you try to avoid jerking with the back, yeah? So we're going to do 2 sets of 30, so take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Take half a breath in now. And begin out of the abdomen. So not from the throat, but really from the abdomen. Try to visualize that you're just really expelling that stagnation out. With that really forceful exhalation. Good, exhale out. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Take a breath in again. Hold the breath. Try to relax as you hold the breath. Exhale. I know that was hard. I doubled the time today. Deep inhale. Exhale. Okay, go in halfway and expel. So really forcefully out of the abdomen. Exhale, 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 really forcefully, last few seconds. And exhale out completely. Go take a deep inhale. Long exhale. Take a deep inhale again. Hold the breath. Exhale out. Breath in. And out. Good, let's begin our movement practice. So breathwork is pretty efficient, but it does take a bit of practice to kind of really understand it. For some people it feels weird, I know. So let's just go onto the knees and just go back and forward, up and down as we're on the hands and knees. Good. Good, so just really getting those hips a little bit mobile. Good, then let's place the right foot to the front. Good, and then place both hands on the inside of your foot. If you feel that's hard, maybe just place both hands on the block. Good, and then open your chest, take a breath here. Good, and then walk your hands to the side. And just kind of push the hips slightly back, but just notice that the front foot is flat on the floor. Good, and then just take a breath there, in and out. Just focusing on your breath, on your body, just taking this time. Good, then we come back up. Place the right knee back, curl the toes under, exhale, downward facing dog, first one of 2022. So press the hands down, inner parts of the hands in. You can nod your head, yes, no, no, yes, whatever feels good for you. Biceps kind of, curling forward. Good, then we'll place the left foot to the front. Good. So again, you can either place both hands on a block or keep it on the floor. And again, just stretch the hips here. Good, then I'm going to walk our hands to the side. And remember, you want this foot to be flat. That's there, knee above the ankle, hands to the side. And again, just a slow, gentle push into the floor. You can allow your chest to hang down, but that can be very kind of intense on the hips. So just, again, go where you can. Good, then we'll come back up, left knee back, plank, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Good, and again, just kind of nuzzle into it, into the down dog. Okay, we're going to place the right foot to the front. And we'll come up into a Crescent Lunge. Good, and then place the arms on your hips and try to just kind of level the hips, so side to side, bend the knee, and then kind of kick the left heel back towards the back of the mat. Good, take a breath there. Just flexing these big muscles, right, in the lower body. Good, and then we'll place the left hand down, and you place your right knee on the, your right hand on the knee, twist the torso towards the right, right arm comes up. We're going to stay in this twisted lunge just for a few breaths. Now, what can really happen is your left side of the body will kind of sag down. So try to lift that up. So lift the left side of the body up and twist the chest. It's just going to feel lighter in the pose, not so heavy in the stretch.
Good, right hand down, left foot next to the right foot, coming into a forward fold. Good, you can bend the knees if you want to start the first forward fold with a bit more ease and with less rounding in the back, and with the feet slightly separate than the hips maybe, especially if you've got a tight back body. Good, and then the right foot steps to the back.
And we lift up into a crescent lunge on this side. Good, and then place the hands on the hips. Keep the hips level, bend the front knee, kick the right heel towards the back of the mat. Good, take a few breaths there. Good, right hand down. We'll place the left hand on that left knee. Twist the torso, right, to the left, and then open up the left arm. Good. Notice if you're sagging at that right side of the body, so try to lift the right side of the body as you twist. Good. Just really getting that stickiness out of the lower back, the glutes. Good, left hand down, right foot next to the left foot, coming into a forward fold. Good, just breathing into this forward fold. Then interlock the fingers behind your head, have the elbows draw in, and just getting this nice, delicious stretch down the upper side, the upper spine, sorry. Good, then release the hands down, slowly come up like a ragdoll, and then roll the shoulders back. Okay, I have to stop making my yoga classes sound like a cooking class. Okay, so let's go up. Inhale, arms up, and then exhale, forward fold. Halfway, plank pose. Good. Stay in your plank just for a moment, tuck the tailbone, engage the entire body. Just building strength. Good, then slowly come down. And then you come all the way down to the mat. Good, now we're going to place the hands beside the body and your palms are facing the ceiling. And then I invite you to lift the arms up and lift the upper spine off the mat. Good. Take a breath there. Good, then lift the right leg up only. And then lower down the right leg. Lift the left leg up. So quite a dynamic core movement here. Lower the left leg down, lift the right leg up again. Keep breathing, right leg down, lift the left leg up, left leg down, very good. Chin down on the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, lift the kneecaps, but keep the feet on the floor. So only lift the kneecaps, but do not lift the feet on the floor. I say it twice, because it is important. Okay, so now we lift into Cobra. So when you're lifting the kneecaps, it means your legs are engaging. Yeah, good. Steady breaths here. Not too much cheating. You don't want to be pushing up like that because you're not really building that lower back strength, right? Engage the legs, breathe in this pose, and then lower down. Good. Push up into plank pose. Exhale, down facing dog pose. And just take a few breaths here. Okay, we're going to place the right foot to the front, runner's lunge.
And here we're going to come into this side supported side plank. I really like this pose. So the foot goes to the side, the right foot. You come onto the knife edge of the back foot and you're stacking onto the left arm. So external rotation, the bicep is facing forward, right arm up. Good. Just breathe there. Kind of push the back foot into the mat. So you're engaging that lower leg, and then push the side foot into the floor as well. Because you're really going to feel this hip engagement. Good, and then right hand down, going back into that runner's lunge. Left foot next to the right foot, forward fold. Place the hands on the hips, come up with a straight back. So if you're finding that side plank hard, just try to turn the hand a little bit more externally. So externally means going outward, yeah? So that could be the problem because, yeah, you know, side planking and all that, it's not just the upper body strength, okay? Okay, so let's place the left hand behind the body with the fingers facing upward. Lift the right arm up, and then exhale to the left. Side body opening. Good, come back to center. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Or awkward pose. Exhale, forward fold pose. Plank pose. Stay a few moments in plank. Strong body, strong core. Lower down really slow, so you really build that strength. And then don't drop like a bag of potatoes, but very lightly onto the floor. Chin on the mat, palms facing the floor. Lift the upper body up. Lift the arms up. Now bend both knees and have your hands go towards the ankles, but without grabbing the ankles, and then coming into this kind of lifting boat. Good, take a few breaths there. Try to lift the thighs off the mat and lift the chest off the mat and relax the jaw when you're doing this relaxing pose. Sorry, just breathe and then release. I think there's still some champagne in my blood. Okay, so lift up, so you lift the kneecaps and then just lift up the upper spine. Elbows close to the body. Good, and then slowly let down. Good, push up into plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's place the left foot to the front. So we come into this side plank as well. So remember, just notice how your shoulder is doing. Stack it, strengthen it. You walk the foot to the side, the left foot. You come onto the knife edge of the back foot. You lift the left arm up. Push the bottom foot into the floor, push the side foot into the floor. Left hand down, come back into a runner's lunge. Right foot next to the left foot, forward fold. Hands on the hips, come up with a straight back. Okay, so, nope, it's the right hand. So the right hand behind,
The elbow draws in. Lift the left arm up. Chin up to square, exhale to the right. Steady breath. And release. Good. Chair pose. Body weight in the heels, arms up beside the ears. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Right knee to the right wrist, pigeon pose. Internal rotation of the back leg, hands centered. Lift the chest first. Good, then come down onto the elbows. Take a breath in. Good, then come back onto the hands. Go onto the side, have the left leg come forward as we come into some hip opening here. So here we're going to extend the left leg. And you're going to lift the right leg up and grab the outer edge of your right foot. Okay. So when you lift this up, just notice what happens to the lower back. When you lift the knee up and you pull it in towards the body, what will tend to happen is you'll have this lower back hunching. So see if you can try to keep the spine straight as you have that right leg to the side and pulling the knee in towards your body. Okay, and then see if you can place your arm underneath the leg. So, okay, so it's on camera, so you can see what I'm doing. My right arm underneath that right leg. Can the knee be close to the shoulder as well? And then notice if you're still rounding. And most probably you are. So try to avoid rounding while placing the arm underneath the leg. Good, and then release. Okay, so sit down in staff pose, Dandasana. Pull your cheeks maybe a little bit aside, so kind of opening up the hips. Lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Kick the heels forward. Keep the chest open, the shoulders drawing away from the ears. Try to really push the sit bones back towards the back of the mat, and at the same time pushing your heels forward. When you feel the pelvis rotation, you can start to fall deeper into the pose. Release. Good. Bend the left knee, so see how that feels for you. If your knee is able to go down flat on the floor. Good, and then see if you can now just pull the foot from the outside. Good. Now notice, right, so I'll do it from the side of the camera so you can see. So when I kind of bend my knee, I should be wearing white trousers, I think, right? I think that's not so clear on the camera, but white trousers aren't a good look. Okay, so see, notice when you're pulling that knee in, you want to avoid the rounding. Try to really get the spine straight as you pull the outer edge of the left foot from the outside, so not from the inside. You pull the left knee in towards the body while keeping the back straight. Okay, so this is mobility, right? So hip mobility. Just see how you can do there. For some people, this can be very, very easy. So if you don't feel much, also okay. Yeah. Okay, and then release. Good, and then just see if you can have the left arm underneath. Good, and then here, this is definitely my tighter side, so you can see that, you know, when your hamstrings are tight, it impairs the opening of your hip, which impairs your general movement, right? So it's just interesting to see. And, you know, I don't care if there's a lot of things I can do, so just see how that feels for you. And when you place the arm underneath the left leg, are you able to straighten the spine? Good, take a breath there. And release. I'm just prepping you for a pose that I actually can't even do myself. Okay, so straighten the legs again. Staff pose. Get those sit bones nice and grounded into the mat. Good, lift the arms up. Exhale, Paschimottanasana. So grab the outer edges of your feet. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Bend the knees if you need to. Push the sit bones back. And release. Great. Okay, let's just now see if you can open up into straddle. So opening up the feet nice and wide. And then kind of turn the leg. So kind of moving this giant sausage, right? Your leg, the muscles, kind of turn that to the outside a little bit. And then turn that to the outside a bit, trying to really open up the hips. Place the hands behind you and really flex the feet up. Okay, see if you can kind of fold the body forward. Okay, so notice if you've got that rounding thing happening, try to then at least straight up straight before going forward. That will be your challenge, right? For those who find it really easy to go forward without rounding in the back, then what you can do is try to point the toes to the side. So point the toes. Good, and then flex the feet up so you feel the calf muscle and the hamstrings really pushing into the floor. Good, so the feet are active, the legs are active, and you're really pushing with the hands behind you to have your spine go forward. Okay, so this is really getting into deeper hip opening. Take a few breaths there. Good, and then release, legs together. Yep, staff pose. Okay, let's now bend this right foot, right leg, sorry. And then the foot presses against the inside of the thigh, yeah? Kind of flesh out the bits here underneath the sit bone. Lift the arms up, exhale, fold forward, and then coming into Janu Shirshasana, so one leg seated forward fold. Take a few breaths there. Remember just tiny subtle shifts in opening up these muscles around the hips. So rather than, you know, what I see often is this kind of passive, let's just see when this ends. But if you can just try to really use the knowledge you have of your yoga practice to lengthen the spine, right? to practice with breath awareness, to keep lengthening on the inhale, to push the sit bones back on the exhale. Notice if your foot is kind of really against a flat wall, and then come back up. Good, let's do the same on the other side. So front foot forward, the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward. So pushing the sit bones back, keeping the chest from kind of slouching. So keep this, don't want the spine to be slouching. Steady breathing. Good, and then we release. Great, okay, let's come now onto all fours. Plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Good, place your right foot to the front. And you want to have your hips square as is possible for you. Oops, oopsie, whoops. I'm going to place my block in the front as well. Okay, so left hip forward, right hip back, right hip square, back foot at 45-degree angle, front foot facing forward, right? Okay, go forward, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Yeah, see if you can hinge from the hips to really rest the body over the leg. Now for me, it's possible finally to place my hands flat on the floor and then fold in the pyramid fold, but for some that will be hard, so you could use a block or 2 blocks. But if you can rest both hands on the floor, keep the legs active as you drape the upper body on top of the right front leg. Good, and then just you kind of let the neck hang down and just breathe here. Good, then place the hands on the hips, come up with a straight back. Left foot forward. Good. Lift the right knee in towards you. Grab the right big toe. And then you can stretch that out to the front. And if it's accessible, you can stretch out to the side. Good, a few counts there. Good, and then release, right foot down. Mountain, just stand still on your feet. Feel the breath, feel the blood flow, all right, go around. Okay, right foot to the back. Right hip forward, left hip moving back. Back foot really grounded onto the mat, 45-degree angle. Okay, so let's go forward. So straight in the back. Good. So you'll feel, right, that big muscle, the hamstring, the glute here, really flex to full capacity, right? So you might need a block, right? Especially if you can't hinge from the hip. If you can hinge from the hip, you start to go forward and then draping the body on top of the leg. Use a block or 2 if you have that to rest the hands on something. So you can really go down with a full weight down onto the front leg. Keep the legs active, so you're really pressing the feet in with the spine just straight down.
just saw that.
Okay, now we come back up. Okay, come back to the front. If there's still an echo, you can write something in the chat. If there isn't, don't bother, okay? But if there is, then let me know. Okay, sorry, I should have read that before. Hold the left knee in. I mean, I don't hear anything, so I think it should be fine. Okay, so left leg forward. Oh, really? Oh, okay, that's so weird. Is there still an echo? A bit, yes. That's really bizarre. Okay. Sorry about that. The only thing is if I disconnect my microphone now, I won't be able to speak to you, then I really have to begin the live stream again. So I'm really sorry about that. I'll check it out the next time. Take a few breaths, go to the front, then go to the side. Good, then come back, and then release, come back down. Okay, let's come back down onto, lift the arms up, and then exhale, forward fold.
Grab the elbows, take a few breaths there. Release the hands down. Good.
And then we're going to come back down onto the mat. Okay. So here we come back into that hip opening. So see if you can just grab the foot here again. So from the outer edge of the right foot, keep the spine straight. Okay. See if you can actually straighten the leg and go to the side a bit. How does that feel for you? And see if you're again rounding, and if you can try to straighten the spine. Have the left hand go to the side as you try to straighten that leg. Okay, take a breath there. And release. Okay, let's do the other side. So pull that left leg, you grab the outer edge of the left foot, keep the spine straight, pull the left knee, and then just see if you can straighten that leg. And then go to the side. See if your spine, again, is not rounding in the lower back, so that's important. And release. Okay, staff pose again. So legs forward, feet straight. Lift the arms up, exhale, Hashimo. Push the sit bones back, shoulders away from the ears. And release. Okay, so now I've kind of prepped you for this pose. So see if you can place your right arm underneath the right leg, okay? And again, just notice if you can place the knee very close to the shoulder. So you're really kind of nuzzling in that arm underneath, okay? Keeping that spine straight. Then see if you can lift the hips off the mat, right? And see how that feels, just lifting the hips off the mat when you have this other leg underneath. And then if you want, see if you can lift the front leg up as well. Good. 3, 2, 1. Release. Down. It's hard. It is hard, but it's doable. Okay, so let's do the other leg. So again, left leg, up. Place the arm underneath my leg here. Yeah. So this side is a bit tight. So as you can see, my knee is not so close to my shoulder. So you really want to see if you can keep that knee as high almost as the shoulder, arm underneath. See if you can lift your hips up. And then see if you can lift the front leg up. Good. If you can do it for 5 counts, fantastic. If it's less than that, also fantastic. Okay, and I know why there's an echo, because my living room is also quite empty and I can hear my own echo a bit. Could be that as well. Sorry about that. So plank, exhale, downward facing dog. Good, place the right foot to the front, open up into warrior 2. Right arm on the right leg, left arm stretches forward. Good, then come into inner side angle pose, so right hand on the inside of the right leg, left arm up. Now you can either bind just with the left arm, place it on top of the right thigh, and stay like this. Otherwise you can come into half bind, right arm underneath the right leg, connect to the left. Good, take a few breaths there. Good, we release both hands down, turn to the front, lower the left knee down. Good, right knee back. And then come into puppy dog stretch. So your hips are above the knee line, and then just slowly sink the chest down. You can have the forehead down on the floor or the chin on the mat. Take a few breaths there. Good, and then just go back into child's pose, so separate the knees, and then just push the hips back all the way, and then just take a little resting stop here in child's pose. We'll come up onto all fours, plank pose, and then exhale, downward facing dog pose. Left foot to the front, open up into warrior 2 pose. Left arm on the left leg, right arm stretches forward. And then left arm on the inside of the left leg, coming into full side angle pose. Variation 1, you just bind with one arm behind, right? Because I know there's different levels here, some people with injuries, so just choose something that's sustainable, right? Otherwise, you can come into full bind. few moments there. Then we release the hands, come down onto the mat, lower down the right knee, and the left knee goes next to the right. Okay, so we're coming back into that puppy dog stretch. So hips above the knee line, hands forward, sinking the chin down on the mat or the forehead. Good, and then slowly come back up. And we'll place the feet to the front. Okay, so let's come down to the mat. I'm trying not to talk too much for the echo. So we'll come down onto the floor and we'll just bend our knees and then just cross one leg on top of the other. So we're crossing the right leg. Right, we place the ankle on top of the thigh and you needle thread. So you needle thread the hand through the loop, interlock the fingers around the shin. If it's not possible on the shin, you can go onto the hamstring, okay? Now when you are interlocking the fingers, flex both feet. So you flex the foot that's above and flex below. Try to separate your toes as well when you're doing that. And then just notice how that really opens up your hips when you do that. Pushing the right knee a little bit outward. So you flex the feet, you separate the toes, right? Just take a few breaths there. And release. Then grab both big toes, try to lower the back down the floor and then straighten out the legs, really slow. Doing straddle pose but on the back. Take a few breaths there. Don't overdo it, just work with the flexibility of your body. Nice and slow with the breath. If it feels too strenuous, don't go so deep. Try to have the shoulders flat on the floor, the chin into the chest. Good, and then come into happy baby pose. So Kim, definitely be careful here, yeah? So again, both arms on the inside of the leg, hands on the outer edges of the feet. Try to pull the tailbone down, take a few breaths there. And release. Good, now we're going to cross one leg on top of the other. So we bend the right knee, cross the left leg on top. Okay, and then the same thing. So needle thread, right? The arm through the loop, interlock on top of the shin, or if you need, behind the hamstring. Good. Flatten the spine on the floor, and then see if you can push the left knee outwards and flex both feet. So you really flex them, separate the toes as best as you can. And release. Okay, now we're going to come into one of the last poses. So we're going to do a double seated forward fold, but on our backs. So here we're going to just lift the legs up
Have the legs just above the body, grab the outer edges of your feet from below, and then just go onto the upper spine, and then see if you can try to do the forward fold on your back, right? So as if you were doing Paschimottanasana, but on your back. Good. So again, pushing the heels towards the back of the room. Sit bones going towards the front. Good, and then slowly release, slowly coming down, legs come down, and just lie flat on the floor. Okay, so separate the knees. We're going to already begin with our resting pose. So we just have the feet against each other, the knees wide open. And have your arms just beside the body. Just begin your Shavasana in this way, so with the hip opener. And just take a moment to just digest your practice nice and slow. Close your eyes. Relax the jaw. If you find the hip opener really comforting, you can stay like this longer. Otherwise, you can just go into the classic Shavasana, so just have the feet go forward, separate the feet wider, and have your palms facing the ceiling. Just coming into your meditation for this evening. So relax your legs, your hips, the stomach, the chest, relax the arms, the back of the shoulders, the back of the head. Just stay with the in-breath and the out-breath. Just focusing your bare attention to the moment.
Just allow your body to fully relax for the last few moments. See if you can get just even heavier in this last moment of your meditation. Good. So now we can bring our awareness back to the external. And you can just do it by deepening your breath again. Exhaling out of the mouth. And again. And out. Maybe give yourself a final stretch. Rock from side to side. Go to one side. And then come into a seated position to close your practice today. Take a moment of gratitude, perhaps feeling grateful for our health today, this year. We're still here. Namaste.